Okay, untap, upkeep, drop.
This is Interplanar Public Radio. IPPR. Bloop, 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 bloop. One of the creators of the lore released a video and he was like, don't worry, you guys haven't seen Aftermath yet. The best is yet to come.
If what you're hoping to see is real lasting effects from this and planes not quite ever looking the same again, stay tuned.
Holy shit, he wasn't kidding.
Okay. So we're going to need a lore update, it sounds like.
Oh no, the story is just about, it's the Pinkerton thing. The conclusion to March of the Machines is insane.
Hello, old school MTG. It's time to talk about the Aftermath leaks.
Knock, knock.
Welcome in, everybody. This is All Cards Considered. I'm Jesse Batend.
And I'm Dylan Cassidy.
And we're going to fumble our way into a really wild episode.
There's been news in Magic.
There's been a lot of news. Yeah, I mean...
A lot of yipping and yammering. The boys are all excited, and the girls too. There's new cards on the frontier.
There are. We are definitely going to be talking a lot more about draft and this format. But man, like, a couple of things have happened, culminating in WOTC releasing Aftermath, the entire set. And I'll be honest, I don't even really want to talk about the cards. I want to talk about it.
Yeah, I haven't looked at them too much, so I don't know what what my opinion is exactly. But
well, yeah, let's start there. Let's just start with
the drama around it.
Yeah. We'll talk about the drama. Of course, what we're going to be talking about is the saga of over the last 2 weeks, where WOTC sent the Pinkertons to a YouTuber's house. And you've probably heard about this story, but hopefully this will be the full story all in one place. And look, at this point, we can't not talk about it because it's actually impacting
legally we have
the
to.
Magic cards. And also, legally we probably shouldn't, but
legally we have to. I talked to our counsel and they said we have to talk about
you
this.
have to bring up the Pinkertons. Okay, so let's get into it. So Aftermath, first of all, is a supplementary epilogue set. It's...
I don't even understand what that means, really.
I know, it's very strange. What it is it's only 50 cards.
I thought it was 60.
It might be 60. I've heard
we don't
50.
Know. It's a full deck.
It's one deck of Magic cards.
One deck of Magic cards.
So it's a very small set, and it's sort of like, it's supposed to be the conclusion to the story. And if you remember, our lore master Tanner Goldberg, he was kind of like disappointed.
Yes.
An opinion that's expressed by a fair number of Magic players out there that like the story was kind of underwhelming and rushed and a little strange and just like, oh, okay, so nothing really happened. Well, one of the creators of the lore released a video and he was like, don't worry, you guys haven't seen Aftermath yet. The best is yet to come. Holy shit, he wasn't kidding.
Okay. So we're going to need a lore update, it sounds like.
Oh no, the story is just about, it's the Pinkerton thing. The conclusion to March of the Machines is insane.
Pinkertons, famously anti-labor busters, came in and shut down Shieldred and Elspeth, or...
Well, I mean, at this point, it's part of Magic's lore. Like, there is no way that the Pinkerton incident is not going to be associated with Aftermath, March of the Machines, and frankly, WOTC for a very long time to come.
We should just go through the whole story.
Yeah, at this point, we're just going to go through the entire story.
Welcome back, Cardboard Warriors. How's everybody out there doing today? It's been a crazy month. It was a really crazy morning.
The part that you've probably heard is a YouTuber,
Old School MTG, got a bunch of boxes of Aftermath.
And Aftermath is not supposed to be out yet. It's not supposed to be sold. He claimed that it was like a mistake. He ordered March of the Machines, and the distributor must have packed the boxes full of Aftermath.
Yes.
And at first there was like a lot of speculation. People were like, that doesn't make sense. That's not how Magic cards are sold.
Yeah, people don't make mistakes.
Yeah. Insinuation that they must have fallen off a truck. Maybe he had them stolen. Maybe we shouldn't trust the guy. And so, okay, sure. Let's, take the story with a grain of salt. But what he claims happened is after receiving these cards, obviously he's a YouTuber. He decides to open them up on stream. I'm not going to lie. I probably would have done the same thing,
Definitely.
mainly because I don't think there's any like sanctity to this stuff. It's cool. It's newsy. Goddamn, I want to look at them. So why wouldn't I share it with you? Anyway, Dan pops open these boxes, and because Aftermath is only like 50, 60 cards, he ends up spoiling the entire set over the course of just a couple boxes. Obviously, that, affects WOTC. I'm sure that they care about that, and they wanted to figure out how the hell this happened. So what they did was they hired the Pinkerton agency to show up at his house.
Knock, knock.
Dogs start barking because somebody's knocking at the door. I come out, and my wife's answering the door, and it was the Pinkertons.
They knock at his door. His wife answers the door.
Yes, she cries.
And she ends up crying, right? Like,
They're
they were
mean.
intimidating, and they like physically put themselves into the doorway so she couldn't close it, accused them of stealing. Apparently, they said that they were going to confiscate all of the stuff. They threatened to bring like the sheriff and have him arrested.
Yes.
And then they also said that they were going to make him present receipts for every single magic card in the house, which was like millions of cards.
Insane. Reportedly, he hasn't seen his child or dog since.
Man, the story is developing very rapidly.
The Pinkertons took everything to take back to WOTC. So they now are in possession of all the product. They counted every single card and every single booster pack. I don't even have any of the wrappers or anything like that left. They took the empty boxes, the empty packs, everything.
They gave him a phone number to call, and he talked to WOTC, and they were super apologetic, he
Yes.
says. And he didn't even seem that put out, frankly.
Yeah.
So I did. I called Wizards of the Coast and talked to a gentleman there who was very nice and very apologetic about making my wife cry first thing in the morning by sending these heavy-duty lawmen to come collect stuff and talking about stolen products and jail time and all this other stuff. But they don't believe that we stole anything, which we didn't. They wanted the product back so they could try and figure out where the hole was so they can plug the hole, is exactly what his words were to me.
Everything was like fine, but the story got picked up. And it was written by Polygon and a bunch of others, and obviously tons of YouTubers have been talking about it. Well, then he posted a video a couple days later, and he was pissed.
Welcome back, Cardboard Warriors. I'm not going to do any openings right now. I just wanted to update some people on some news that I just found out a few seconds ago about the whole situation with the Pinkertons coming to my house.
He found out that the Pinkertons went to his elderly neighbors,
Oh, wow.
snooping around.
We went outside to do a couple things, and one of our neighbors came over. And come to find out, apparently Friday when the Pinkertons showed up here and we weren't home, they decided to take it upon themselves to go knocking door to door on our neighbors' freaking houses and harass our 70 and 80-year-old ladies next door.
They claimed they had an appointment, and the neighbors said, hey, like something, these weird guys were here, told them about it.
And that is just way over the line. I mean, this whole thing's been over the line, but that is, come on. I mean, you're harassing my elderly neighbors, too. I've already been upset about the whole thing, but really trying to keep my calm and keep things civil and keep my composure. But this is a little far. I mean,
So at this point, he's like, I'm not going to talk about what happens next.
I'm not sure what my next move is going to be, and I don't want to talk about any specifics or anything like that.
Since then, the story has just like, it won't go away.
Yeah.
It's just been the news all over the Magic world, and also the news.
Wizards of the Coast sent Pinkerton agents to a YouTuber's house to retrieve the leaked cards. What?
What they've recently done to another collector is unforgivably cruel. It's one thing that's wild to me is America and their love for private military contractors, mercenaries, you name it. All over a trading card leak.
I imagine them storming into the house and bringing like one of those dishes that you have, the metal dishes with food on it, and they pop it open. And it's got like a red telephone, and he picks it up, and it's just Blake or Mark Rosewater or the CEO, Chris Cox, and he's like, hello, old school MTG. It's time to talk about the Aftermath leaks.
The next thing that kind of came out was that apparently WOTC's been working with the Pinkertons
Forever.
for a long time. And like in 2017, there was this rare sheet from Ixalan that was stolen, showed up on eBay or something. No, it showed up at a card store. And a Pinkerton agent came and recovered it and said, that there were many other incidents like this, and alluded to the fact that they had been used on other types of projects. So like, this is just wild. I mean, at first it was like amusingly disturbing, I would say, where it was just kind of like, oh, why on earth would they handle it this way? The guy sounds pretty nice and understanding, and apparently they called him from an unlisted number multiple times. They said they tried to contact him, but it was like calls from an unlisted number. They didn't leave a message.
You gotta leave a message if
just
you're calling from a new number.
Sent these agents, and my guess is that they must have thought it was stolen. You know,
And it's really raised the stakes for us because we've received a pack of Lord of the Rings Universes Beyond that we'll be spoiling here on the podcast.
Well, so actually, that's the bad news. We're not going to. We have Lord of the Rings, but we're not going to show it to you because of the Pinkertons. Well, like, yeah, I mean, we were going to show it to you, but now I think we need to hold off because of what. Wait, no, that makes it look like we're being intimidated by WOTC.
Not that we're not.
Not that we're not.
I mean, it's such a strange thing that they went through all this rigmarole, because I think the plan was to spoil it, like, what, next week?
Yeah, that's the most strange part of the story. It's only 50 cards, and it comes out on May 12th, which was, at the time, only, like, 2 weeks away. The guy broke embargo by, like, a week or something.
Yeah, like, what? Just let it go.
Why?
I don't know.
My personal read on the situation is that it probably wasn't a very intentional decision. Probably someone was like, oh, this is what we do when cards are stolen.
Yeah.
Okay,
just did
call
their job.
loss prevention.
Yeah.
And, you know, but like, it is really bad. Like, the more I think about it and sort of put myself in the position of the guy.
And his missing son and dog.
I, allegedly.
Unconfirmed.
It is turning into a problem for the company in a way that I don't know where this ends.
They haven't had great PR lately.
They've never had good PR.
No.
It's kind of insane because, like, of course, everybody outside of Magic's reaction to this, everybody in Magic is like, they stole his cards. Everybody outside of Magic is like, it's a card game.
It's squares of cardboard. What's going on?
Like,
what are your values? Yeah, we love Wizards and we'd love a sponsorship.
The question I have for you, I suppose, is like, so Aftermath is like 50 or 60 cards. It's not draftable. Do you care about it at all?
I just don't understand what it is still. Like, I guess, are there
it's just more cards. You can play them in Standard. They're cards.
There's all those weird Planeswalker enchantments that I'm going to have to buy one of and be sad about.
I'm not going to buy it. I see really no reason to buy the packs. I guess it's like,
I would never buy a pack of these.
That's what I'm asking. I'm like, I buy the cards because I draft. That's, you know, I'll buy singles, I suppose, for decks sometimes. Sometimes I'll buy boxes just because I like am treating myself in some sort of way and it's fun to open packs. But really the reason I buy Magic cards is because I like to draft Magic cards.
Yeah.
So I'm not really sure who Aftermath is for in the first place and what they were hoping to achieve. Like, even if spoiler season had gone off perfectly, this comes out like 3 weeks after the set comes out, and it just seems like something I don't care. I'm sure that there's probably 3 or 4 cards in that set that are going to be $20 to $60 and are going to be like staples, and I'll learn about them when people play them against me. But like, I mean, I guess that's just how I feel about it, you know? All of this for nothing.
Yeah. I just don't, I mean, I need to know what the cards are, but I don't understand. It feels like a Commander set that they made that's not a Commander set, like a supplementary Commander thing that they do.
They're story cards. I mean, that's kind of what it is. Either that or it's just they're trying to... Listen, I don't know what the thought process behind it was, but what I will say is that there's a kernel of a cool idea in there. I don't know. I paid attention to it as a curiosity and an amusement, and it turned into something that like has probably been ruining everybody's day at WOTC for the past couple weeks.
Yeah.
In terms of mismanaging it, it is kind of bewildering that they didn't just put out a statement and apologize.
Or
they did
hire
put out a statement, but
BlackRock
they were
to
like,
go
we
in there and just delete this guy.
I mean,
eliminate the problem completely.
All I want to do is play cards.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of reasons to be upset that WOTC hired the Pinkertons, like gross organization, right? Icky.
Yeah. Famously bad.
Bad history. interesting history. I had a nice time.
I did a read about them.
Yeah. Same.
They're not owned by Americans anymore.
Yeah, it's like a Swedish company or something.
company,
Yeah,
yeah.
interesting.
And they never sleep.
So I guess the last like little epilogue, the aftermath of the aftermath
Yes.
of the aftermath,
We'll call it a coda.
is alongside dropping all of the cards. WOTC also did this live stream. They typically do show off the cards, and this seems like the most rushed, awkward, uncomfortable live stream I think I've ever seen.
Hello and welcome to Weekly MTG. Today, we're gonna do something we have never done before. We're gonna run through an entire set in 60 minutes. We're gonna reveal the entirety of March of the Machine, The Aftermath, all 50 cards. Some are already out there, so this is like 40.
Because here is what these people are having to like witness as they're trying to do their job and just talk about these new cards that
These
have nothing
poor
to do with the
dorks
goddamn
that work at
Pinkerton.
Wizards of the Coast.
These poor dorks. That's exactly right.
We're going to talk a little bit about what's going on with that plane, what's going on with the characters, and basically how all of this is shaking out in the aftermath. I said the thing.
Something Pinkerton joke.
To dive right into it.
The Pinkertons were just doing their job and they have the right to beat you up for playing Magic. This message is approved by the Pinkerton Detective Agency and the Police Department.
Planeswalkers want to return.
Some are already out there. Oh, really?
Invasion branches that were used to pierce through the blind eternity.
WOTC, don't show us these. We have seen them from legally
The
obtained
Pinkertons
spoilers.
are gone if
I
you
heard
want
the
to know.
Pinkertons are raiding the chat today.
To intimidate civilians.
One of them was like the same guy who did that video
Yeah.
about like, hey, wait till the aftermath. We've got more coming.
Oh, boy.
And so he's sitting here trying to like talk about all of this stuff that honestly he's probably put so much work into. Like I feel bad
Yeah.
for them on some level. The employees who made the cards. Anyway,
The rank and file, I can sympathize with them.
Oh, 100%. People start kind of arguing about it, and they're like, hey, can we just keep it civil for today? Can we just focus on the aftermath? And people are like, I'll keep it civil when the Pinkertons like come to my house. And so, yeah, fuck. I don't know. Fuck.
These people they're interviewing look so demoralized.
They look so uncomfortable. Look at, this is Roy, the guy who talked to me. He was like, just wait, guys. We've got this cool ass thing coming with Aftermath. I put like my heart and soul into it. All anyone cares about is the Pinkertons.
Sorry, Roy.
And I mean,
But these
part of
cards
it
do
is
look
that
nice.
the cards look nice. I think it's kind of a cool idea. It's just like a sort of a... Here's what I will say. There's maybe a very cool idea that we might have been totally all in on. They did not get the opportunity to explain it to us very well. And I think a little bit of that is on them.
Any explanation about what this set is like really supposed to be has been just lost in the static of
100%.
you guys hired bad guys.
Yeah. In the meantime, I'm having a great time drafting March of the Machines, and I'm not going to stop.
Yep, we love Marching Machines. Love Mom.
Yeah. Part of this is like Magic being for everybody.
Yeah.
You know, trying to be too much of everything. And not even having clear delineation between their products, because there's a difference between sealed and draft. But
Yes.
they're still putting these cards that are clearly supposed to be reprints and nods to the secondary market in what is supposed to be an experience in and of itself. So that's kind of odd.
Yeah.
And doing a bad example of explaining what their products are, I was confused forever when I started playing Magic about like what even is the difference between these packages.
Trying to like explain Magic to my girlfriend when I am going to go play that. Like I will regularly go play in a cube, and I don't know if she knows that when I say I'm going to play cube that I'm also playing the same game that I'm playing when I go to the Dice Dojo.
Yeah.
Or when I'm going to play Commander. It's like I don't think she really I don't know. There's just so many different ways to play the game now that it's confusing for the unenlightened, and that's why we're here.
Yeah, and I mean, it's part of the fun. Like, I love that people are so invested in it that they like make up formats or spend time trying to find ways to play old cards just because they love them. And Lord knows, monetizing something as nebulous as a game is like weird. Like, I don't really know if there's a way to do that without crossing the line at some point. because it's the same in board games. It's like, oh, you made too many expansions for this game. Now you just want my money.
Now you have to make a new edition.
Yeah, or remake an old game that's out of print. Or in video games, there's loot boxes, and all of these things go through an experience of what we have created here is a toy for fun.
Yes.
So how do we make money off it?
I want to. We're kind of getting more broadly into games here, and this really relates to some of the other stuff we've talking about here, and I can't get too specific, but have you played the game Inscription?
I love Inscription. I think it's phenomenal.
Have you finished it?
I haven't I think I beat it once, but it's like one of those things where you have to beat it multiple times, right? There's like secret endings or something. No, you know what? I haven't beaten it.
Okay.
Yeah, should I?
Yes.
Okay.
You truly should. And then revisit just
this entire conversation?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, you gotta play Inscription.
Interesting. All right. Damn.
It's relevant to most of what we've talked about today. I love that in that game specifically, you have like a mana pile.
Yep.
And then your deck.
Right.
And it fixes a big problem in Magic, which is like you'll never be mana screwed if you can choose to draw from a deck of lands or a deck of playables.
Right. That's the big innovation. You can choose to draw a land if you want to, or you can choose to draw a permanent. And that's like, that's pretty cool. While we're talking about other games, let's just put it in here because this will bring us full circle. There is some sort of looming thundercloud hanging over WOTC's head. Like they are the kings of trading card games.
Yep. Tabletop gaming in general.
To be fair, yeah, you're right. With Dungeons and Dragons and like they're huge. Yeah. And we all know they make money for Hasbro. Like none of this is new. But here's why this kind of does matter. I was going to do a whole bit where I was like, ooh, I got a sneak peek of a new set. Here's the description for the next Magic set. And then I was going to read you this, but I'll just read it to you anyway, and then you'll know what it is. So here's a description of a new card game that's coming out. Players are called Illumineers, and they're racing to be first to gather 20 lore. Each Illumineer begins with 7 cards in their hand. They draw from a personal 60-card deck. Beginning with the first round of play, Illumineers take cards from their hand to create a pool of ink, the game's energy resource. Like land in Magic the Gathering, ink is then used to summon creatures and to cast spells. Decks are each composed of no more than 2 colors of ink and can be purchased as pre-constructed starter decks. That is a description of Disney's Lorcana game.
Oh, wow. Disney's getting in here?
Disney's getting in here.
Ugh.
The game is apparently like the buzz of this game convention that just happened. Like everybody is talking about it, about how good the gameplay is. And
Disney they just don't miss. I hate it.
I hate it so much. Yes. Because there's nothing about Disney that's like, I'm not like, I don't want to play a Disney card game for any reason.
That's but the biggest turnoff.
Don't know that I necessarily care that much about dragons either.
Yeah.
There's a lot about the art that I think is beautiful, but like I was not one of those people who was like, I want D&D in a card game. I played it because of my friends. I played it because of the experiences and stuff. There is a part of me that wonders if this game pushes enough of the same buttons that Magic does and does it better, which is totally reasonable to assume that they will. Would people switch? And at first I said kind of no, but I'm starting to think that maybe that's not true.
Yeah.
Not letting people play with fetch lands. They're not readily available. There's sort of like bullshit with the secondary market and the list and on and on and on and on and on and on and on. It's all coming from a place of trying to kind of maintain the status quo and print money, right?
Yeah. Trying to remember where I found this today, and I was just scrolling looking for it, which is also another relevant thing.
Yeah.
But is there a Magic game, an app? Because I feel like I saw an advertisement with this that had Nissa.
Yeah.
But it's like a Hearthstone.
It's a Hearthstone clone. Yeah, it came out, totally failed.
Magic made a Hearthstone.
Magic made a Hearthstone clone because they wanted to make their game more accessible to easier for people to learn how to play and stuff.
Yeah.
And it dumbs down Magic. It removes the mana system.
I think that's bad. Magic is attractive to a particular player base that likes that it's like weird and kind of strange and it's not consistent, and that's like part of the appeal is that occasionally something incredible happens and you play Breach the Multiverse and you pull a Tolly and everything comes together and there's magical Christmas lands.
don't get me wrong. When people complain at you all freaking day long, I think it makes sense that it's probably easy to see elements of like nerd culture as like, I mean, that's there, right? They're immature,
sure.
like they over exaggerate, like we all complain about everything. Like, all of that is totally real.
Keyboard warriors.
But I wonder if there's, at GameStop, when I worked at GameStop, it was like my first job in high school. I literally remember all of my bosses being like, don't hire gamers because they lack social skills. Like, if people are really into games, they're going to be bad at this job. And I was always just like, nah, dude. Like, people come here because they want to talk about games with us.
Mm-hmm.
That's literally why they buy their games here at GameStop and why they keep coming here. So there has always just been an element of like, I think the corporate world not understanding what people need or desire from the product. Mm-hmm. And perhaps maximizing like the wrong aspects of it. When at the end of the day, the thing about Magic that is so great is right there in the title.
The Gathering.
That sounds so corny, but dude, the only reason I play this game is like I don't care about the lore. I don't care about
I like to get together with people I know.
I like getting together with people I know. I like the excitement that we all share.
Mm-hmm.
I like the fact that we can sit here every week and talk for over an hour about this thing that doesn't matter at all.
Mm-mm.
But you know, life is full of things that like are just for enjoyment, and this is something that I think brings a lot of meaning to a lot of people's lives. So it's fine for them to feel strongly about it and be invested in it and all of that. And you know, the thing that's so cool about the Pro Tour is not being the most intelligent or the toughest or like the most esports like professional. Like, it's not about any of that. It's just that like there's a celebration and a gathering regularly. That's all it is. It's just that you enabled people to come together and love this thing together.
Yeah.
Enough of my rant, but it was a fun talk.
Yeah, that's good. Kind of went some places. Wizards, we do respect and fear you if you're listening to this.
Yeah, honestly, and we'll like take it all back if you know.
Please don't send
want
BlackRock
us
or
to.
the Pinkertons or DARPA.
Oh, the other thing that I wanted to do. So here's why I think Lorcana's legit.
Oh.
Have you ever seen one of the cards?
No.
It looks so much like a Magic card. Like, the first thing I thought before I even read the description of the game, I said, oh, whoa, it's got power, toughness, and a mana cost. So here's Mickey Mouse, Brave Little Tailor. Why don't you take a peek at how much that's currently selling for?
No way.
$1,500 on TCG Player for the like special promo Mickey Mouse.
That's wild. $1,500 already?
Yeah, latest sales. They're actually selling.
If it's good, it'll be good. I just can't imagine myself. But I mean, like,
I can't. You're not going to play a game with like Geppetto and Beauty and the Beast combo.
You know, we're saying that, but also we have Transformers and Street Fighters and Godzillas and...
You're right.
So, I don't know. Who's to say? Maybe this is going to become a Lorcana podcast.
Maybe this will be a like next week, baby.
When's it drop?
all Illumineers considered. I don't know. All ink considered. It is it's an interesting point because like I don't want to play with the Walking Dead card, even if it's like the best card in the game. I don't want to like build a Walking Dead commander deck. I don't hate anybody that does, but I'm just not interested in it. So if all of the best cards are Lord of the Rings cards, it's not like I'm not going to play Magic anymore. I'm still going to draft it or whatever, but I'm pretty sure those cards are going to go into like a shoebox and not be the cards that I like cherish and appreciate.
I love Lord of the Rings. I'll say it.
Do you love Lord of the Rings?
I also am far more accepting of like a fantasy world existing inside of a fantasy world.
Sure.
But Robot Transformer?
Nah, I'm not into
Does
that.
not mesh with me.
No, the Transformer cards were such a miss on so many levels. Awesome. Well, we'll go back to talk about Magic cards next week, huh? So, you mentioned in paper, there's a lot of double-sided cards.
Yeah, there's so much text in this set.
Playing with double-sided cards presents a little bit of a problem. You know, they have those like tokens that let you write in what a card is so that it can stand in for a double-face card.
Sure.
And I had sleeves. Like, I always play with sleeves, but they were orange sleeves.
Yeah.
And I played my first match, no problem. When I went to play my second game, I was shuffling my cards, and my opponent was like, oh, I can see through your sleeve. not really. You can see that it's a double-faced card, but you can't like read the card. But he was like, do you want some tokens, to write what the cards are so you can replace them? And I was like, this is casual. I was kind of fumbling with an answer, but I was leaning towards like, nah, I've got a bunch of them. It just doesn't seem worth it. No one's ever asked me to do that. And he was like, the answer is yes. The answer, you do want to do that. And I was like, okay, mister. Like, I don't want to, bother the guy. So I was like, okay, I have a lot of them, just letting you know. And he was like, yeah, no, it's going to be worth your while. And I was like, all right. So here's the thing. I didn't want to show him I had a tally. So I kept all my cards face down, and I took them out one by one, and then I wrote on them without showing what I was writing, and then I slipped them in, and it took like 7 extra minutes.
Yeah,
so
which
he
is
asked
most of your time.
He asked for an extension, and we got 7 extra minutes, and we explained what was going on to the judge. And then I put all of my double-faced cards in a face-down pile next to where I was playing, because, again, I didn't want to give away that I had an Atali. It's off color. I want to kind of surprise the guy.
Yeah.
So I don't know exactly what was going on, but I was getting the insinuation that he felt like I was upset about having to do this. I didn't actually care. I just felt like it was a little ridiculous.
Yeah.
So anyway, we played the games, and then just like throughout every single game, every opportunity, he would do these weird checks. Like I played my pest, and he would be like, can I see the land that you took? And I'd be like, oh, yeah, like for sure. But he would like ask to like grab it and hold it. Or I played Tolvada, and he was like, where on that does it say Tolvada? And I was like, right here, I wrote it. Like, this is the proxy that we both agreed on. But he was like weird about that. It felt like he felt like I was trying to pull something over on him. I played my second Tolvada, and he was like, can I actually see the other Tolvada?
My
do you actually have two? And I was like, yeah. And at that point I started laughing. I was like, this is weird. Anyway, I think he was really competitive, but it was just this like really awkward and uncomfortable game.
Yeah.
I've never experienced anything like that, but I do think it was a genuine misunderstanding where he thought that I didn't want to remove my cards because I wanted to see
the cards.
Yeah,
you wanted
like,
to cheat
I
or
don't
whatever,
know.
but
I
the
wanted
reality
to
is
know
you
where
just
my
thought it was kind of
Atali
like
was.
A huge waste of time.
It was a huge waste of time, and also I didn't want to give away what Atali was. I wasn't trying to like cheat and make proxies of cards I didn't actually have, which was his insinuation, right?
Yeah.
I just didn't want to give away what those cards were, which I think is totally justified. It's open information during the draft, but you don't get to see what the cards are in my deck, as far as I know.
Yeah,
so,
I don't actually know.
Odd situation.
Yeah.
And then I lost to my very good friend twice in a row because he breached the multiverse. Here's the value play.
Yeah.
Breached the multiverse, hit Atali both times. Atali hit my Drana and Linvala, so he gets that. And his Alabaster Host Intercessor, so he gets to exile one of my creatures, and then he shuts off all of my activated abilities of my entire board and gets all of my activated abilities because of Drana and Linvala.
Basically, breach the multiverse into Atali is probably a win either way.
Yeah, I agree. The card's been very good for me. You do have to make sure you can cast it at 7, but 7 mana cards are castable to the point if your opponent has Atali.
I've been experimenting with a lot of cards this week that I haven't played, and another big cost card that I tried out finally was the 7 or 8 cost mythic enchantment that triples permanence damage.
Oh, City on Fire.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I really wanted it to work, but it didn't really. And my strategy was to get a bunch of Javelineers and just lightning bolt them. I had
for 6 every time.
Yeah, I had 3 of them. So, like, I won a couple games that way, but I just barely broke even with the deck. So I think maybe there was some other stuff wrong with it, and I kind of got it a little late. But I've just been picking up every single mythic and rare I see now and just cramming them into a deck with a weird mana base.